Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Women Making Herstory series. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, and we're bringing you this series, as you know, in celebration of Women's History Month, where we've had the opportunity to spend time together with 31 extraordinary women who are making herstory. And before we kick off, I just want to remind you that, yes, we are showcasing these 31 particular women. What I know is every single woman is making herstory, and we've got to see it first and share it with others, and then get out there and keep on doing good. So you keep on doing the good you're doing as I introduce you today to Lorraine Castro. Welcome, Lorraine. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be part of Herstory Month.
Yes. We're excited to have you. And I know that our audience is going to be inspired by your story, which we'll get to in just a moment. I want to share a little bit about your background so you kind of have a sense of why we invited Lorraine for this particular episode. So Lorraine Castro is an amazing woman. And she's been an entrepreneur since 1985 when she started her career in real estate. It was then that she realized her passion for truly helping others. Eventually, she moved to the next level and obtained her broker's license, where she trained and mentored others. Lorraine has also made a name for herself as a real estate investor and has helped put many smiles on faces when families purchased a home, and even more so when they purchased a home and she beautifully renovated it for them. I didn't know you had that talent too. Oh my goodness. Throughout the years, her passion for helping others has grown into more than just putting smiles on their faces. What Lorraine is most passionate about now is working with people to show them how they can live debt-free and enjoy a healthy, fulfilled life. Many families are enjoying financial freedom, true financial freedom, because of Lorraine and the work she's now doing. So thank you for your passion, for your commitment, and for having these amazing ways for us to be truly free in our body, in our bank account, and in our spirit. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you for having me. Like I said, really excited to be here and share my story.
Yeah, well, and your story is a good one. So when I think about back to 1985, becoming an entrepreneur, like that must be as soon as you hit adulthood, you became an entrepreneur. Was it that fast?
Well, just about. I had started in the securities industry right out of college. So I was a Wall Street stockbroker for about 5-6 years. And it wasn't until I had my son that I decided, oh, this career is not for me, too stressful. I can't leave him all those hours a day. So I needed to find something that was going to allow me the time to stay with him, be able to raise my own child, and also be a career person.
Yeah, and make money.
And make money, correct. I gave up a very nice book of business originally. So anyway, I got started in real estate because his dad and I had started looking for real estate investments at the ripe old age of 23. So that's when we started our investment portfolio in New York, in Bronx, New York.
Wow.
Anyway, but I really enjoyed it. It became a passion of mine as far as helping others put smiles on their faces. I realized that I was always getting satisfaction by having someone else feel really good about what their next move in life was.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And that's why I have stuck it out. Eventually, like the bio says, I eventually grew into real estate, more investing. I've done a lot of renovations. So when someone buys a house that I have just completely renovated for them, that's even more exciting. Mm-hmm. But as the time has gone by, I realized that sometimes, actually what brought me to this where I am now is realizing when there was a family who wanted a house so badly, but they just couldn't do it because of their financial situation. So now that took me to the next level of my career or of helping people, where I now show people the way to financial freedom. So those that are able to purchase a house without the complications of not being able to qualify immediately is one good thing. But now I can actually help them pay off that house a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Which
yeah. Or
the
find the
bigger
ways
file.
and find ways to create the extra income.
Correct.
So I'm very curious about something. So at 23 years old, actually straight out of college, you went into finance. So for me growing up, I did not come from strength in my family. I wasn't taught about investing and making money. I was really just taught by my family, because it's what they knew. Go to school, go to college, get a good job, 9 to 5, which clearly is not the path I'm now on.
Right.
But my education for that came years after I was, had already started. It sounds like there was something early on in your life that opened up this other way of possibilities.
Well, it wasn't my family either. My parents are immigrants from Puerto Rico. They settled in the South Bronx in the 50s. I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and if anybody knows the history of the South Bronx, it wasn't a fun place to grow up in.
But you know what? My dad was a fireman in the South Bronx during that time. And it
was burning down.
It was the toughest. He wanted to have the toughest place in New York at the time. That was the toughest place.
Yes, it was. But we had strong family values. We had an amazing family dynamic, and their sacrifice for living where we were, their sacrifice was making sure we went to private school. So we were in Catholic school, but they didn't have any financial savvy at all. My dad just believed that that's what we can afford, because that's where he settled. My parents settled, and they thought that was life. But as I started reaching 14 and 15, I'm like, I don't belong here, and neither do the rest of us, our family. So it wasn't until I was about 16 years old that I started talking to them about that. We don't belong here, and I know you can afford better. So I finally sat down and I showed him the numbers.
Well, so you're 16 years old.
I was 16, and it didn't actually happen till I was 18, believe it or not.
Well, you put a plan together.
Yes. Well, I started his mind thinking, because how is a Puerto Rican dad going to listen to what his 16-year-old is saying?
Wow.
So eventually I even found us the place. So by the time I was 18, I said, I found this great place and this great apartment in a great, nice private home in a better part of town. And he said, I'm going to listen. I'm going to take a leap of faith. And I know that it's probably going to be a little struggle, tight for the budget, but we're going to do it. And that's what he did. Obviously, life changed dramatically after that, because he started seeing the bigger picture, but I don't really know what got me started thinking about the money and about how we can afford better, other than I just knew I didn't belong there.
Wow, that's amazing. And what's beautiful in all of your kind of travels through life, I believe that every single thing we've ever done brings us to the place we are now. So I just love how you have continued to be somebody who just doesn't take no as an answer, who says the status quo doesn't have to be. And I'm seeing traces of that, in your family, in your business, in starting real estate investing, in helping people buy, in finding homes for people, renovating homes for people. Now, the next problem you saw people having was they don't have the financial wherewithal to buy the home. So let me show you how you can clean up your debt, how you can make more money, save more money to get that. I mean, you are a true visionary.
It's great to hear that from amazing people or women like yourself, but it's not, I don't always see that in me. I know what I've accomplished. I know what I can do and help and how I've helped people. But when I hear it from somebody else, I'm like, wow, I guess I am. You know?
It's true. I think that I don't know if this happens for men as much. I think it might, but I know for sure that with women, whatever comes easy to us, we don't think is, oh, it's, I just do that. Well, you just do that and it's really amazing.
Right, exactly. And as I think about different scenarios in life, and then my husband telling me, you're amazing, or you've just helped somebody else, I'm like, wow, I did. But you're right, it comes natural. People will come to me and ask all sorts of questions. He says, I've missed my calling as somebody's mental therapist. I go, no, I don't need to be their mental therapist. I'd much rather be their financial coach and
Yes.
live a happy, free life.
Right. And you know what? It's all layered together. So
Exactly.
you sprinkle all in the mental part because we know that they're so related.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk a little bit about, I know you have several different programs to support people in creating financial freedom. So talk a little bit about this Debt Shredder program and how that works.
So the Debt Shredder program is my financial GPS, is what I call it. Basically, what it does is you give it the information, such as whatever financial credit cards, mortgage payments, student loans, whatever you have to pay interest on gets entered into the software program. And you also let it know what's your income, and it will create the fastest path for you to get out of debt, and also show you what the value of your money is, what time value of money is, as well as show you how to create and direct you on how to creating wealth. Once you've gotten out of debt, now let's show you and work with you to create wealth.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know you've got some amazing stories and testimonies for what's possible with this. Could you give us an example of such a, a scenario?
I can. I can give my own.
That works.
That works? Okay. Well, as you know, and we are real estate investors, and this program allows us to, as it stands, allows us to enter up to 10 mortgages. We currently have 7. Our 7 mortgages total $850,000 and something cents. Mm-hmm. Entering all the data that we have, which is the mortgage amount, the payments, the interest, you name it, as well as the income we get from those properties. The one important thing is that we still have anywhere from 15 to 27 years left on those various mortgages.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
The exciting part is that when we just upgraded our software to enter all of this, we will be paid off in 6.3 years. We will have saved in our pocket, not sending it off to the bank, just over $600,000.
Now, this is money most people don't even think about or realize that they're giving to someone else.
Correct.
Thanks. And simply because, once again, I'm going to go back to, we have not been taught these things in traditional schooling and education.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Especially nowadays, society, our economy, we've become, if I can afford that payment, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So when you go buy a car, the first thing they ask you is, what payment can you afford? Yeah. Then they work the numbers to make that happen for you. But they never show you what's going on in the background.
How much interest you're paying. Yeah.
Exactly. And the same with a mortgage. You qualify for a certain amount of money, but you don't necessarily have to go for the $400,000 mortgage if you're going to be more comfortable with $300,000. Yeah. But they encourage you. Oh, you can afford it, so let's do this. And it's just crazy how it's become, if you can afford the payment, then you can do it.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you for really, since your teens, being on the leading edge of maximizing money to enjoy the life you want. let's go back to here you are 14 years old and you're just feeling like, we don't need to live in this neighborhood. We can do better. We can have better. We just need to think differently.
Right. Exactly.
So kudos to you, my friend, for blazing the trail for your family, for other families, and for so many others. So let's talk about trailblazers. Who is a woman in history who had a big impact in your life?
Well, as I thought about it, I realized that woman, because I refer back to her quite often, is my grandmother. My grandmother was an amazing person. I always thought of her when I was younger, just thought of her as eccentric. Oh, she's crazy. But when you get older, you really realize she was a woman who truly loved herself. And with being able to truly loving herself, she created love all around her. And not only that, she was an entrepreneur too. Again, she was in Puerto Rico, not economically in a great place, but she always subsidized her income by always creating these little businesses for herself.
Wow.
So she was either selling tchotchkes or selling candy to the neighborhood kids or selling prepared meals. She always had something going on. But what stays so vivid in my mind is how she was every morning. My grandmother's routine was get up in the morning, she would go right into the shower, she would shower, and her routine was to call my grandfather to bring her towel. So she would yell, "I'm ready." And he would bring her towel. He was a lot older. He was about 21 years older than she was. And he just doted on her, and they had an amazing relationship.
That is
He
beautiful.
unfortunately passed away a lot earlier than he did. He was almost 100 when he died, and my grandmother had a stroke at 72 and passed away a year later. But she, like I said, because of how she felt about herself, she was able to exude that love, and people just loved her, and everybody just loved being around her, and we were all happy when we were there. And she basically taught us that you love yourself and respect yourself, and people will see that, and that's how you will be treated in life.
So good. What a great role model.
She, didn't see it that way growing up, but it's not until I sat and really thought about this, and I realized I refer to her about different things in my life all the time. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's grandma who has made such an impact on my life.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And what a great time I've had in our conversation today, as I'm sure all our viewers have as well. And I know from listening to you today, they're going to want to get in touch, want to create freedom for themselves. So let's let them know. If you click on the button below, it'll take you to a free gift from Lorraine and a way to get in touch with her. So describe, how it would work for somebody getting started to have a conversation with you.
Simple, just reach out to me. But I'm excited to share my 7 strategies to maximizing your money, time, and to have lasting results. So that's my free gift to you, my true freedom strategies that I've used throughout all these years. And also just reach out, because I'm able to create or just do an analysis, a free analysis on what your personal situation is, and know if this program is for you or not, or just be able to show you where you are today and how fast you can get out of that current situation, and just make it work. Our program works with everybody, with every situation. If there isn't any extra money at the end of your month, if your month is gobbling up all your money, we can find ways to show you where to find it, how to find it, just to make things happen. Because what's important to me is freedom.
Mm.
To feel that sense of not having that load on our shoulders, because I've been there too. I've experienced it prior to knowing about my program. You know, it gets complicated.
Yes.
Life isn't always easy, but we have to find the best avenue for ourselves to stay ahead of it.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you again for being with us today. I really appreciate how you're making an impact in the world and how you're making history.
Well, thank you. It's been my pleasure to be here, and I look forward to hearing from some of you. And let's do this together.
Awesome.
Let's find freedom.
Yay. Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. All right. So thank you for joining us for this episode of Women Making History. And go ahead and click on the link below to get in touch with Lorraine and get her freedom formula. And if you haven't done this yet, click that other button, that orange one that says join the movement. Your voice matters. Your story matters. You are making history. Let's all do this together. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everybody. And thank you again, Lorraine. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.